Sorry, I've always called you OC, but what's the full name?
OC or her Zime careful.
Huh?
OC or her Zime careful.
I'll stick to OC.
It's actually not that long. Anyway,
It's fine.
Hi guys, welcome to Everything with Allysyn.
Love is a beautiful thing when you close your eyes to it. It is an amazing feeling that blows one's mind just like the wind blows away the light and gathers it to a roll. They see it in the air, yet it's rare and unseen. The rare part is the most bitter part because you either get to experience it so poisonally or not experience it at all. And the end of the day, it's just everyone trying to make it in this thing called love. When they say you can't get pushed to the wall, they ain't lying. That used to be just a saying until I got pushed to that wall. Have you ever been so desperate in love that your whole being is scorched and burned like the hot sun? Have you ever walked on hot sand barefoot? Well, it's that same unexplainable feeling when you have so much pain from loving and not being loved back. But the difference is, you feel it deep down your heart. You feel it cutting down your heart. I really wish the heart didn't want what it wants. But we can't change that, can we?
Today on set with me, I have EVANS EDEHA.
EVANS EDEHA.
EDEHA.
Thank you.
He's an actor, a scriptwriter, and also a model. I met him on set one time when we were shooting for, I can't remember the name of the brand. That's where I shall met him. So anyway, thank you for coming on today's show with me.
You're welcome.
So Evans, introduce yourself, sell your market on my show. Let everybody know who you are. I know you, but they don't. So
Okay. My name is EVANS EDEHA. I am a filmmaker, an actor, and a model. I'm also a food enthusiast.
because you like food. I know that you like food.
I love cooking more than I like food, actually.
Okay, me, I don't like cooking, but I like food. So that actually makes more sense. That's actually better.
We will make like a really good couple.
Yeah, but okay. Anyway, please, I'm trying to sell my market on this show.
Okay.
So anyway, so my first question to you would be, I'm going to be asking you more questions about your script writing part of yourself. I know you're an actor, you're a model, but let me focus on the script writing aspect. So what makes a good story? What would you consider a good story?
For me, a good story is something that makes everything around me want to write a particular story, because I come up with different ideas,
Okay.
and then there's just this extra drive for a particular story, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to tell this story. I want people to read this. I want people to watch this and enjoy it. So a story that entertains me first off, and then entertains people in whatever way. That's what makes it a good story for me, because you could write a story that entertains just yourself and someone else reads it and they don't like it. But I like stories. A good story triggers emotions. Like you're reading, you're happy, you are sad at different points in time. So a good story has to trigger emotions. That's it basically for me.
Do you write books or just scripts? Because the way you're talking is like you're very good at romance novels.
No,
Or do you
no,
write
but I don't like romantic stories.
Are you serious?
Yeah, for every story I have written, someone has died.
Oh my god.
for every story I have written, someone has died.
Oh my god.
I don't like romance because I feel like when I write, I travel basically to another world, and romance is something that I see in my everyday life.
No, not really.
I didn't say we.
Okay.
I said I.
But whatever.
It's something I see in my everyday life. So I don't want to be writing about the norm. I don't want to be writing what happens every day with me. I want to write about something entirely different.
Death? Seriously?
No, not necessarily about death. Just about situations going wrong, or like the most abstract thing. Something you wouldn't think about. So that's just it for me.
What motivates you? Like what inspires you? Because I know script writing is about taking people on a journey from one place to another. So what actually motivates you to like? Because I've watched some of your movies that you wrote the script, and I'm like, okay, what made you think like that? Like, what inspires those stories?
My first inspiration into writing. When I was a child, my mom was like a military woman.
Wow.
So if you commit a crime, there's what we call, in Fast and Furious, there's the 10 seconds car. In my family, there's what we call the 10 seconds lie. If you commit a crime, in 10 seconds, before my mom asks you the question, why did you do this? You have to come up with a lie. So when you're walking in, there's already a story, and we already knew, like, okay, you have to sell it with confidence. Don't stand and look at how you're saying the story. Just walk, play it nonchalant like you didn't do anything. So that's how I started coming up with stories. So most times, if I stay back at school to play football, before I go home, I come up with a story like, okay, this is why
I
stay back at home. And then there was a point in time where all my siblings traveled out, and I was the only one left at home. So I was bored, and I had to like create different scenarios for myself at home just to keep myself busy. So that was like how my whole storytelling thing started, and I just got comfortable creating a different world for myself. So like, I think that's basically what motivates me. I just want to create an alternate universe for myself where I can actually control everything that happens. I can pick who falls in love, I can pick who dies, I can pick who gets a child.
So you can just like,
I can play God.
oh wow, that's really cool. So when you have a client that like gives you a job, okay, write a script for me, do you usually tell you, oh, this is how I wanted the story to go, or do you have to like come up with everything?
Okay, first off, there are 3 ways to it, yeah? There's actually 4, but let's stick with 3.
Okay.
First off, yeah, a client could come with their own story. It could be like a 1-page or a 4-page story, and they tell you, I want you to turn this into a script. And I read the story and I decide, okay, this is what can come out of it, because you brought a 1-pager that I have to turn into like 100 pages, and I tell you, okay, this is what could come out of it, this is what we could do from it. Yeah. And then secondly, there are clients who have the money to like produce a movie, but they don't have a story, they don't have a script, they don't have an idea what they want to do.
They just have the money.
Yeah, they just have the money. So they come to you and like, okay, I'm thinking of producing a movie in Lagos. And you're like, oh, okay, I have this story on ground, or I have this idea, what do you think? Which one do you prefer? And then there are clients who, let's stick with those 2.
Okay, so that's basically what
basically it. Is it that you come with your story, or I give you my story?
So I know you're a model, you're an
Yeah.
actor, you're a scriptwriter, but I feel like you do more of scriptwriting, am I right? Or do you like acting as much as you like scriptwriting?
What brought me into the industry was actually writing and directing, the ability to create, not be in front of the camera.
So do you enjoy being in front of the camera? I mean, you're a model. I
enjoy being in front of the camera. There's a lot of attention on you when you're in front of the camera.
So you prefer
but you don't have. I prefer being behind, because then you can actually create. When you're in front of the camera, you can only create the character, and most times you can't even do that with some directors. There are directors that want you to be this particular character, so you're coming to play a particular character. But when you're the director, when you're the writer, you can actually create different characters, you can create different scenarios, you can actually build a whole world. So yeah, I'd rather build a world than be a person.
Wow, that's really cool. So my show actually is centered around like us discussing the challenges that creatives face in this industry in Nigeria. So you're a filmmaker, right? You're an independent filmmaker.
Yeah.
When it comes to like funding your movies, have you ever had to like write a script and then pick actors, pick actresses, and you're like, okay, let's actually make a movie? Like, how do you go about your funding? What are the challenges that you face in this industry in Nigeria?
Okay. Funding. That's the one thing every independent filmmaker does not want to hear. Funding, because it's the biggest challenge.
I know, right?
So most times, yeah, I am a huge fan of Quentin Tarantino. And when he started directing his own movies, when he started producing his own movies, he worked with, should I call it goodwill? He worked with goodwill and favor. So what he did was, if he has a script he wants to work on, for instance, Reservoir Dogs, if he has a script he wants to work on, he takes out everything a friend, a family, somebody that owes him a favor can get out for him. So for instance, now, if I have a script and I need someone with your look, I can easily come to meet you.
Guy, you pay me money.
And no, now, but I won't pay you the way I will pay a stranger.
Okay, maybe.
You understand? if you live in a 2-bedroom apartment, I can easily come to you and I'm like, what's up?
What's
Can
that?
I shoot
Okay.
in your apartment? I'll even give you a role. So basically, most times, for me, I haven't done like a full movie. Most of the movies I've done are short films, and they're still expensive because getting equipment. And if you want to shoot a short film and you want to shoot with a good camera, you're getting the same camera as you're going to do with a feature film. So the cost of camera, the cost of the crew guys per day is the same thing with a feature film. It's just that you're not doing it the length of days. So yeah, funding is a really challenging area, but nowadays we have private investors who keep their names to themselves. You give them your script, you show them what you've done before, and they're like, oh, okay, I'd like to invest in your project and everything. But it's really expensive. I'm supposed to be working on a project, a script I hold dear to heart that I just finished writing. I gave the producer and everything. She wanted me to direct it. But right now we're having issues with the camera guys. They don't have joy. They can't reduce their money for anything in this world.
I mean, that's their own hustle.
No, this is now like actors. You can talk to an actor, and an actor will be like, okay, I can beat it down for you. You can talk to makeup artists. Some makeup artists will come on board for free, just put their names and everything.
Yeah.
But you see those camera guys,
because they are behind the scene. What are they getting?
They got no joy.
Their money.
But their name will be there now. We'll put their name like cinematography.
So, I hear you.
But basically, funding is a really big issue. But we find our ways to get around it.
What are challenges you face? Is it just funding? Are there other things that you face in the industry?
Challenges in the industry.
Generally.
Talent.
Okay.
There are so many talented upcoming actors, but most times you want like a known face to sell your product. So if you're using a talented actor who is not known and you're advertising your product, for instance, now if you see a Shola acting like a short clip on Instagram, you're not drawn to it. But if you see an Adesuwa Tommy, a short clip on Instagram, you're drawn to it.
Yeah.
So talent is an issue. Location. We don't have a film city in Nigeria. I actually studied in India, so I am used to a place where everything is set up and organized. There are unions. There are no functioning, no offense to anybody, but as far as I'm concerned, there are no functioning unions in Nigeria. In some countries, when you want extras, you just have to go to a website, request the amount of extras you want, request the way you want them to look, and they will turn up, and you don't have to negotiate because there's a standard. This is how much you get to pay certain people for a particular job per day. You don't get that. Professionalism. A lot of people are not professional. A lot of people don't keep to time. Crew members, crew people, they don't keep to time. Actors are worse. So most times, like, you say you want to...
Or are you different?
I'm different. Most times you say you want to start shooting by 8, call time is 6, and some people are getting there by 10.
I mean, that's crazy.
Like, it's crazy. So yeah, there are a whole lot of challenges, but then there's one very special one. I don't know how to call it identity. There's this thing that happens where a lot of creatives are being harassed by the authorities. So many times I have been harassed, and you know how our life is. You're coming back from a shoot late at night. You get stopped by the cops. Police, not cops. Police will stop you and they will ask you what you do, and you tell them, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a scriptwriter, I'm a this, and automatically they label you. Like, I think on the 22nd of December, I was at Ajah police station.
Wow, that's crazy.
For taking a friend out at night. It was her birthday.
What?
I showed them my scripts. I showed them everything. Like, they took me to the police station. I showed them everything, every possible proof to let them know I was a filmmaker. Showed them conversations. But at the end of the day, I still paid 15K to get out for doing nothing. Like, just to go home and be able to say, okay, I didn't sleep in the cell. So yeah, it's crazy.
At least I didn't talk about one thing. Don't you go through writer's block?
Oh,
I was like, is it that you always have ideas back to back? Don't you have those moments?
No, I don't always have ideas back to back. I always have writer's block for every project. The thing about me is, whenever I'm developing a script, coincidentally, I always have the beginning and the ending of my story on lockdown, especially the ending, because most times you see an amazing story, you watch a movie, and then at the end you are let down because the writer was exhausted. at that particular point in time. So most times I like coming up with my beginning and my ending first before I work on the middle. Because if the beginning is amazing, the end is amazing. Even if the middle is average, the whole story is going to be amazing because people remember the beginning and the end more than the middle of the story. So yes, currently I'm having a writer's block. There's a story. Currently. I'm working on a movie. I'm not going to say the name, but that's supposed to be like my first feature film, like produced, directed by me, produced by me, written by me. If possible, self, I will act inside it. I'll do makeup. But yeah, it's supposed to be like really loud and hopefully to come out this year or early next year. And I have written the beginning, I have written the end, and I'm stuck in the middle.
Wow, stuck in the middle.
I feel like I should write a song. But yeah, every writer experience writing a writer's block. Most times what I do to get over it, sometimes I change my routine. I go for a run.
Okay.
Most times I do something different. I don't know if you checked my status yesterday. I was like, I need a new adventure to help me through this adventure.
Actually, sorry.
Yeah, I was actually talking about a writer's block. So most times I just like do something adventurous. Like
something that you wouldn't do normally.
Something I wouldn't do normally. I go to a place that I shouldn't be at. Don't ask me what kind of places. I get chased by someone that should not be chasing me. I just do something different and it gets blood running. And most times in that moment, that idea that you've been looking for just pops and you're like, oh my god, it's been there all the while. So
how did you go pro? I was watching one movie, The Therapist, by that Diane and Yaya played like a lead role. When I saw your name, I'm like, wow, my friend is blown. So how did you go pro? Like, how has it been? Like, how did you get there?
Okay, it's actually been a long journey because I graduated from film school in 2016 or 17. I'm not sure. And when I came back, I realized I didn't have the connection to get into the industry. I'm not saying everyone uses connection, but most times when you know people, like when you have the same circle of people, it's easier. I didn't have that. I schooled abroad. All my alumni and everything, they were abroad. They were able to collaborate and do things. I didn't have that. So after like 6 months with nothing, I then went to film school again here in Nigeria.
Which one?
Royal Arts Academy.
Okay.
Just to create a network of film people.
Okay.
And then I started going for auditions. When I go for auditions, most times the most fruitful part of my auditions is not auditioning itself or getting the job. It's the interactions I have with people in the industry before the auditions, the contacts I exchange and everything. So from there, I built a network of people. So we have like our little community where I don't think I have any friend outside the industry. Like
I'm your friend.
Yeah, in the industry.
Okay.
Exactly. I don't have friends outside the industry. So I built a network of people and I showed them what I can do, what I have done, because I directed a couple of things while I was outside the country. I sold a couple of scripts. So I showed them what I have done. And for instance, now you've seen my work. So if someone tells you like, okay, I need a scriptwriter to do this, you recommend me. So that was how I went pro. I did a lot of free jobs.
Of course.
I'm not going to call it paying my dues because I hate that.
But you paid your dues.
I didn't pay any dues. I did a lot of free jobs, but those free jobs were able to allow me showcase my talents and let people know like, okay, it's not just me saying I have a degree. This is what I can do, because this is one industry where your degree doesn't make a way for you. Like, keep it in your pocket. Show me what you can do. Yeah. So that's how I went pro.
Thank you
my friends
very much.
And those I know.
Thank you very much for taking me on this journey with you of how you started, how it has been, the challenges you faced. I'm sure to help a filmmaker out there. Anyway, that will be it on today's episode of Everything with Allysyn. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, let everybody know that this show is running. All right? Thank you for joining me. Bye.
Hello? Kule, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
I feel so miserable, so patched up, so drowned into my own waters, so sunk in sand. Why did I just let go? I have never in my whole life felt so wrong.